Hello YouTube, and welcome to how to make a good parkour map. Today I've got us a bit of a setup here. This took me a little while to make, but it's no biggie. Anyway, here's what I'm kind of expecting the start of this all to look like. This right here is what I would call a bad parkour. It's just doesn't flow well. It's just not fun to play. As you can see, why did I just go here when this is great? I mean, this is a tested jump, it's possible, but you know, this is a pretty bad parkour. And so I'll be showing you guys how to take this and, well, evolve it a little. And for our first step here, you're going to want to take that and just make your platforms bigger and make more sense. As you can see back over here, this is just dirt blocks on the wall, and it's just stone wall, dirt block. These are floating, literally floating blocks, and that just doesn't look good. But this, on the other hand, is a little bit better. As you can see, we've turned these into some stuff on the wall, and we've also made things flow a little better, giving you a chance for momentum on that four block there. And we've not fixed this yet, but we'll get to that. You're gonna want to connect everything up. This right here is a great technique, just kind of taking a fence, plop your thing on top of it. Looks pretty nice. A lot of the time I like to try and put it on the walls, or you can even make it floating if you make a little island type thing. So now you're gonna want to throw in your details. Just bone meal the ground, add some coarse dirt or something. This is if you're doing natural stuff. If you're doing like a city, then you're gonna want to get streets, light posts, and stuff like that. If you're doing like a, let's say a jungle type thing, you're going to want to put your cocoa beans, a few jungle trees, really try and make it feel like a jungle more than anything. For this example though, I've kind of just detailed it up to look, you know, grassy area with stone walls. As you can see, I've also put some indentations into the walls themselves, just to add that little bit of spice, and obviously you can tell this and this is pretty different. Sorry if I'm moving a little fast, by the way, but I don't know how else to split up these type of things, and a lot of this is kind of stuff you have to learn, so you're still building this, don't worry, do enough of it, and it'll just kind of come natural to you to do this. It shouldn't be too difficult, not gonna say too much more on it. Anyway, this right here is basically, you want to get interesting elements to incorporate into your thing. And also, I went ahead and removed the confusion right here, and simply just replaced it with a new variant of jump rather than confusing the player. Since we already had our 4 block right here, and a 3 and up is not that different from it. So this adds more variation while looking far cooler and being far cooler. Now, this right here is kinda just to show you that this type of thing will work with any style. I went ahead and built a little mesa here, which, it's the exact same parkour, but because of the difference in the decorations and stuff, well, it feels like a completely different parkour. Of course, it doesn't feel like it, but it definitely looks like you're playing something different. So, yeah, this is just showing you an example where it's not just basic old grass, but let's set it back to day and run along here. This is the final of our little map showcase. And basically what I've done is I've made an end area. This is something which I'll probably talk about a little more than the last few points. If I can just go ahead and do the parkour here, you'll see that I added some leaves and stuff about, and that wasn't just random. I added those because I decided that would more thematically fit with my ending. Also, sorry that I'm failing this jump so hard. I don't know why I am. But if I just go ahead and make this 4 block, and hit, okay. Pretend I made that, and this right here is a little final section. Now, this is a really small example. I'm making a small scale thing. But if you have a big old map or you're going all over the place, you're going to want something probably bigger than this. But this was just my little example area. And you see, I just went ahead and made the jumps just that little bit more difficult. Second jump right here is a quad, and if I can make that, which of course I can't, but if I can make that, you just hop around here. This is honestly quite a tough jump I made, surprisingly tough. You go around here, jump into the tree, and you want to do something special. Here I decided to incorporate a tree into the parkour, which hadn't been done before. Also, this could be iron bars and it would fit a little better with like that over there, but you know, just different things you can do. You're also going to want to playtest to make sure that everything feels nice, like, you know, changing that to iron bars if that's something you'd like more. And I went ahead and made the last jump a lot more difficult. Like, this is a very annoying kind of jump, and each time you'd have to be redoing this. It all depends on what difficulty you want to have, but personally, I went ahead and made this a little more on the difficult end. It's a lot of deciding beforehand, though. Alright, and once you make this, it's very much a doable jump, but I don't want to spend forever doing this and just talking. So, just for a moment, pretend that back there I had a sign and it's like, you're on a quest to find some treehouse or something, and you've always wanted one. Well, here is the part where you would have like a payoff to that. You finally got the treehouse you've always wanted. Congratulations, you win. You're gonna want some kind of payoff for your map. Here, I did a treehouse because it was a tree, it was convenient, and of course you would have set that up back over here. But I didn't, because this is an example. You're the one who's gonna make a map, not me. So yeah, just do that, and if you notice the sign over here, good job. If you jump just like that when you first get here, secret. That is if you're reading from below. If you're not reading from below, you're gonna want to just toss in little things like that. It'll make your map a lot cooler. You know, it's just satisfying to find a secret like that. Just notice a little detail. Anyway, moving on from that, I have a little arrangement of jumps. Now, these are a bunch of different types of jumps, very common stuff. And this isn't like a showcase of every type. This is just some of the more commonly used types and some of the better types. So, yeah, I have these color-coded by difficulty. Right here, we just have ourselves some basic jumps, nothing special, and then what a lot of people do. This right here is a quad, but the ladder makes it so incredibly easy, it's hard to fail. Now, I'm just making the jump cleanly, but that's because I'm pretty good with quads. If I can just actually fail the way you're supposed to, wait. Yeah, see, I caught the ladder and it pulled me up. This is yet another difficult jump. I measured it out to make it pretty difficult, like you need momentum to make it clean. As you can see, I didn't even make it clean there. It's a decently tough jump, but the ladder puts it in green category. This would otherwise be like red category probably. Anyway, moving on to orange, we just have ourselves some fence post jumps, along with the iron bar or two if you're feeling pretty tough, and the all classic normal 4-block jump. I'd put this in orange, maybe green for me, but that's me. It all depends on what you find difficult here, but I have it orange, so yeah. And ladders. Personally, I would put this in hard. I hate ladders. Ladders are just some of the worst. I actually did that rather clean. I don't usually make it that clean, but yeah. And the all classic slime block jump. Just bounce off of that. You're gonna want to try this multiple times and measure it out, because if this were a full block, then you can see you don't make it. So I just measured it out to make it a tad tighter than just doing that. But, you know. So moving into red, this right here is what is known as a Neo. Neo is just a roundabout. You go right around the block. Now, it's a fairly tough jump, putting it easily into red. For some people, it might be a bit difficult for this category, but I mean, I put it here, so I put it here. And this right here is a double Neo. Again, even more so. This might be a little difficult for the category, probably not. Depends on how much practice you have with each jump. You'll see that I'm actually struggling now because this is a really annoying jump. Anyway, this right here, we just bounce off 2 slime blocks. For some people, might be difficult, I don't know, I put it here though. And yet another Neo, because originality, this is a slab up Neo. It's easier than double, but harder than normal, so yeah, that gives you a decent idea of its ranking. If I can just make it here and show you guys. Yeah, there. So, that's a slab up Neo. It's fairly tough. And now we have iron bars and glass panes. Now, glass panes is something which I hear quite a few people complain about. Personally, I don't have too much of an issue with them, but either way, you can't argue that they're not a pain. Okay, moving forward, this right here is our purple category. So, my major tip with these, don't use them. This right here is a set of jumps you shouldn't use, because these are just bad. Basically, this right here is a double Neo with a slab up. I have only ever made this like twice, maybe? It is a really tough jump to do. Really tough. Dang it, I'm hitting against this, but trust me, it is precise. Anyway, then you have your slab up 4 block jump. Sorry, enchanting table from a slab 4 block jump. This jump is far harder than 4 block. It is probably red category if you toss on this part right here. But if you're talking like no momentum, no chance for momentum, it is near impossible to do this. Especially like force momentum. Force momentum's not something I'm too good at. You basically like do a really precise kind of jump to get momentum off the block you're standing on. Anyway, I'm not going to ever make that jump. I don't believe I ever have made this jump, and I don't feel like doing it either. And our final jump amongst these. I don't know how hard this is really, because I've never done it, but I do happen to know that is doable. Let's see. Okay, basically, this is a 5 block jump. You may think that's not possible, but it is. You can look it up. It's a thing, 5 block jump. You need to have, it's 4 or 5 head hitter blocks here. I don't know how many specifically, but somewhere around that area, and you have to run as fast as you can, jump right off, and if you get lucky, you land right here. So yeah, but generally don't touch the purple category. I suggest staying in like orange, red, sometimes green for easier, nicer segments, and yeah. Anyway, I didn't mention everything here. This wasn't supposed to be some comprehensive guide on every parkour jump. This was just a few ideas for what you can put into your parkour. And of course, you still have plenty of tools, like you have your classic ice, new blue ice, which is a little tougher on you, soul sand, which, oh boy, I don't like soul sand, and honey blocks. So yeah, just, you can use these in tons of ways. Very fun blocks to mess around with, especially when you're talking about parkour. But the final thing I'd like to mention, 2 commands, that's it. That's the command section. We're not going to go for too long. Basically, you're probably going to only use TP here and title. It's 2 commands which I suggest you look them up on your own, because explaining them wouldn't be too difficult, but it's not the point of this video. So, yeah. Anyway, I do hope you guys enjoyed this here. This was a bit different from my last tutorial. I'll probably be doing more in the future. But yeah, I just made this setup and stuff and all. Hope you guys enjoyed. Consider subscribing if you liked it. I don't really care about likes, but you know, if you would like to, then leave a like, I guess. And anyway, I'll see you dudes in the next one. Peace.